active shooter inside the building. You have an active shooter inside the building.
That announcement you just heard is not real, but it could be. And Kearsley High School in Genesee Township held an ALICE training today to prepare their staff for the possibility of a gunman in the building. ALICE stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, Evacuate, and it's used at schools all across the U.S.
Our Ken Davis attended this morning's training. So Ken, how does the district feel they performed?
This district-wide session saw hundreds of teachers and faculty practicing lockdown and evacuation skills, and they say they're ready for the worst-case scenario. The Genesee County Sheriff's Office assisting with active shooter training at Kearsley Schools and playing the role of the gunman.
Let me in, please!
For some educators, like science teacher Nick Doyen, this was their first time physically practicing for a shooter scenario.
It was emotional, but it really does help me understand, hopefully, what it would be like to have to, unfortunately, participate in one of those real-life situations.
The faculty went through different ways it could play out, with students in class, passing between classes, and even the shooter changing directions.
The shooter's in the 400 hallway headed towards the science wing.
I feel like everybody in the room was prepared and know what to do.
To practice what getting out is like, how can I help other people get out? How can we also all get through something so intense together?
And while they wish they didn't live in a world where this was necessary,
when I was trying to become a teacher, this is not something I ever thought about.
Kearsley's educators agree with Superintendent Paul Goddard that they can't ignore the possibility of a shooter.
About 2,900 families entrust us with their kids. We have 2,900 students, so they're going to be arriving at our front of our school next week, and so that's a responsibility that we don't take lightly.
Kearsley has taken safety seriously for years. The district began practicing the ALICE program in 2018 and installed special equipment in 2019 that prevents doors from being shoved open. In the studio, Kent Davis, ABC 12 News.
All right, Kent, the creators of ALICE training say the strategies used are developed by experts in education and law enforcement. They say ALICE training teaches staff and students to have situational awareness, and having practice being in an active shooting builds confidence in stressful situations. A recent study published in the journal Victims and Offenders found more than 85% of students reported either no change or an increased feeling of safety after completing ALICE training.